Hello, everyone, and welcome to the April edition of Ginnie Mae's Modernization Outreach Call. My name is Letitia Jefferson. I am the Director of Customer Experience at Ginnie Mae, and I am very happy, as always, to be on the line with you. We have a pretty dense agenda. We're going to try and get through these topics efficiently, but the overview has a lot of information packed into the slides, and that is because we will be posting this overview to the website next week. Uh-oh, I'm cutting in and out badly. Anybody else getting some static or, oh, you can hear me fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Audio is good over there. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up. So we do have some dense slides. We will be posting the overview to the tools and resources page on the Ginnie Mae website next week. You can look for it there. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Next slide. As a reminder, there are several ways to participate in this call. If you have any questions or you need to provide us any feedback, when we go to open up the audio lines, if you dialed into today's call from your computer for audio, you can raise your hand at the bottom of the screen. If you roll over that with your mouse, it should show you your raise hand icon. If you dialed in from a telephone today, when we get to the Q&A, you can press *9 to raise your hand, and we will call on you by using the last 4 digits of your phone number. And at any point during the presentation, you are welcome to use the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. Okay, the Q&A, we will be accepting questions throughout the presentation. And when we break for Q&A at the end of each section, we'll make sure to refer back to the questions that are in the Q&A to make sure that we respond to those, okay? All right, let's get going. All right, here's what we got up for today. There are some My Ginnie Mae portal enhancements that we're going to talk about for you. And then we're going to talk about Sfpdm. There should be like stars and fireworks and all kinds of glitter and rainbows around this one, you guys. A lot to be said on Sfpdm on this call. So hopefully you are all ears and we're talking to the right audience. We will give you another update on the RFS expanded data collection effort. I'm getting stars. And we will also give you an update on the Rsa Soft Token adoption timeline. Okay, so moving right along. Okay, here we go with some portal enhancements. Next slide. Okay. So in My Ginnie Mae, we did launch a couple of enhancements that help you navigate a couple of things inside of the portal. Okay, some of you have indicated that you may not know who your organization administrators are at your local organization when you need help with managing your user account. Maybe you forgot your password, your account was locked, you need a new functional role. We have added to an organization administrator locator. So when you go into My Ginnie Mae, if you go up to your profile image, for some of you, it's going to be your initials. For others, you may have uploaded a photo or an avatar. You will go up there and click on your avatar or your name, and this pop-up will come out. It's the same way that you usually change your password every 90 days. You'll go in there, and instead of hitting edit my profile, there's a new link that says My Organization Admins. Okay, this link will display a list of the active org admins in your organization. It does provide their telephone number and email address. We've got it blocked out here for testing purposes. But it will display their first name, their last name, telephone, and email. So if you need some assistance managing your portal account in My Ginnie Mae, you are able to go into this My Organization Admins locator and find out who they are so that you can reach out to them for assistance. Okay. So hopefully.
Latisha, I would like to add something here. When you click on that My Organization Admin, there will be this information, the table will open in the next window.
Okay, fantastic. That's Nisha Rashtogi. She led the effort to put this functionality in play for Ginny Mae. What she said.
Thanks.
No problem. All right, next slide. Okay, the other thing that's going into play, if you are an organization administrator, I need you to be paying attention. If you are an organization administrator, I need you to be paying attention, okay? This is what's happening, all right? As of December 2020, in Appendix 3-29, Ginny Mae operationally requires that organizations have a minimum of 3 active organization administrators in My Ginny Mae at all times, okay? To assist you in managing to this requirement, we are producing an automated email notification that will be sent starting the morning of April 29th. Okay. So if you are, and the message will read as indicated here in this graphic from do not reply at ginnymay.gov, that your issuer, you'll have your issuer or document custodian ID, and it will tell you that your organization administrator count is low, okay? So that you know that you need to go reach out to the other org admins in your organization that may have gone inactive to get them reestablished, okay? This message goes to the active org admins in the organization. So anytime you fall below 3, okay? So if me, Mickey Mouse, and Minnie Mouse are all organization administrators, and Mickey lets his account go inactive, Minnie Mouse and myself will receive an email notification every day until Mickey gets active again. Okay. Hear what I'm saying. My organization administrators, I need you to be holding each other accountable and making sure that you are not getting emailed to death every single day. Keep your accounts active. All right. The other thing that you need to know is that your Ginny Mae account executive is also getting an email notification when your organization falls below 3 org admins. Okay. Now, when we put this job into production next Friday morning, every organization that does not presently have 3 organization administrators active will begin receiving email notifications. The active organization administrators will begin receiving email notifications. I checked today. There are 168 organizations in My Ginny Mae that do not have 3 active organization administrators as of today. You, my organization administrators, are about to get pinged to death. Please proactively reach out over the next week to rectify this situation with the inactive organization administrators in your organization, okay? There are 30 organizations that only have 1 organization administrator. You, my dear, are in a really bad spot because you need 2 organization administrators in order to assign, request, and approve functional roles. You are going to need to reach out to Ginny Mae customer support. Okay. So again, there are 168 organizations as of today that do not have 3 organization administrators. The active org admins for those organizations will get emails every day beginning 4/29 if they do not come back into compliance before then. And for the 30 of that 168 that only have one organization administrator, you're gonna have to contact Ginnie Mae customer support to get you out of this pickle, okay? All right, Nisha, anything else I need to say about that?
Yeah, and the org admins will keep receiving it every single day until, they return to 3 org admins. So yeah, every day you can expect this email.
Okay. Next slide. All right, I'm gonna stop already and take some questions. Does anyone have any questions about what we just covered? By a show of hands, please raise your hand if you are an organization administrator with your organization. Please raise your hand real quick. Okay. Got about 74-ish folks on the line. All right. I sure hope that you are in good standing when it comes to having 3 org admins. If you're not, please take care of that in the next week. I don't want you to unnecessarily be pinged, because you're not in compliance with that 3 org admin requirement. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys can put your hands down and we're going to move on to the next subject. If you do have any questions, please do drop them in the Q&A. Okay, next slide. Oh boy, here we go. There are some folks on my end of the line that are super excited about what's coming up right here. Sfpdm. Let's go. Next slide. All right, so unless you've been under a rock, you know that Sfpdm is the new pool delivery application that will eventually be replacing GinnieNet for single family and manufactured housing pool issuance, okay? We've been working on this for some time. I'm sorry, someone said, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, I got a false notification. We have been working on this for some time. We announced our new pool delivery data set specs quite some time ago. We've been updating those on a regular basis and keeping you abreast of those changes. And we released a validation and testing tool that you can test your new PDDs in. And we also ran an early adoption effort. Yes, Sfpdm, single family delivery. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Thank you, Nicole. That is for single family and manufactured housing programs only. And so we did run an early adoption effort that was successful. We have several issuers that are already actively pooling in production in the tool. And in January, we released an APM announcing the 18-month adoption window during which time we will transition from pooling activities in GinnieNet to pooling in Sfpdm for single family and manufactured housing, okay? We are launching the application on Monday, okay? The full rollout of Sfpdm will happen this Monday, April 25th. We released a modernization bulletin this week to announce that change that was coming. Hopefully you are subscribed to notifications on the website and you received that. Okay, so what does this mean? This means you need to get those pool delivery data sets built, and you need to jump in there and start pooling. If you are a manual entry issuer, you'll be able to begin pooling right away. For anyone who does file upload, you're going to need to develop that pool delivery data set in order to begin using the application. But what's going to happen come April 25th, next Monday, anyone who has the single family loan delivery and pooling basic user functional role in My Ginnie Mae or any user that has the single family loan delivery and pooling authorized signer functional role in My Ginnie Mae will automatically gain access to the application. There is nothing for you to do. There is nothing for your organization administrators to do. You will have access as of Monday, okay? So again, I think I already mentioned, yes, that you do need to be delivering or building that PDD. Or if you are manual entry, when you get your access on Monday, you can go. You're off to the races. Okay. If you have any questions about what was published, please visit the Ginnie Mae website. We have an APM that was published in January that's available there, and the Modernization Bulletin that announces the rollout is also published to the Ginnie Mae website. Next slide. Okay. So what's going to be happening next? A lot of communicating, lots and lots of communicating. So modernization bulletins, as I just mentioned, are on the Ginnie Mae website. If you go there, you're going to see the modernization bulletin that we already published, announcing the rollout of Sfpdm. And next week, you will see another modernization bulletin that gives you some information about how to navigate transfer at issuance transactions in Sfpdm during the 18-month adoption window. The bottom line is that if the selling issuer has initiated the pool transfer in Sfpdm, then the buyer must complete that transaction in Sfpdm. If the selling issuer has initiated the transaction in GinnieNet, then the buying issuer will need to accept that transfer in GinnieNet. You will want to communicate with each other to make sure that your buying issuers know where to go in and search for these transactions as you begin to exchange. But the important thing to note here is if you are a buying issuer who has not yet built a pool delivery data set, it doesn't matter. If that seller initiates the transaction in Sfpdm, you will still accept in Sfpdm, okay? We'll talk about this a lot more in the training session that we're offering next week. So if you haven't already signed up, you can go to the issuer training announcements on ginniemay.gov and sign up for Sfpdm training. We'll have a session next Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. On Thursday, if you're not ready to use the application yet, you really need to learn more about the PDD and testing it in the VTT. You'll want to come to the session on the 28th. That's on Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And we will give you more information about how you go ahead and get started with that new file. Okay. This is not the only training that we will be doing. This is an 18-month effort. And we will be offering ongoing training. This is just the initial session that we've got coming, and I would love for you to participate. Okay. And as it says on the bottom here, please make sure you're staying tuned to ginniemay.gov and signing up for notifications so that you can get announcements when we do post and offer new training deliveries. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so what do you need to be doing now that we are ready to go? You need to, number one, review the resources that have been published. If you go to ginniemay.gov, the Modernization Initiatives page has an entire section dedicated to Sfpdm MISMO. Okay, when you go to that drop down, there is a wealth of resources, the PDD implementation guide, appendices to that guide, modernization bulletins, APMs. There's the user manual will be published next week when the application launches. So plenty of resources available for you to review on the Modernization Initiatives page, okay? The next thing, number two, you're gonna wanna develop that pool delivery data set. I know that some of you use a vendor We are still in constant communication with the vendor community. They are aware that the application is launching. And so, you know, you might want to reach out to them and ask them to prioritize their development of the PDD to make sure that you can start using the application sooner rather than later, okay? Once you do have a MISMO compliant PDD, you're going to want to go to the validation and testing tool, which is already available in MyJennyMay to test those PDD files before you jump into Sfpdm, okay? We will cover this in the VTT training. So again, if you haven't registered, go ahead and get registered for that. And the last thing that we're asking you to do is to start pooling. Start pooling, get into Sfpdm. If you're manual entry, you can go as soon as it opens up on Monday and begin pooling in Sfpdm. You know, but begin pooling in Sfpdm and then come back and give us feedback. We will continue to host monthly listening sessions to find out how it's going and to, you know, to receive feedback from you on the initiative. So participate, jump in, start pooling, and tell us how it's going, okay? Let's see. There's a couple help boxes, or I'm sorry, help desks here to help you if you have questions. The bottom line is if you're still trying to get yourself organized, you don't have a PDD yet, you're trying to build a PDD, you're trying to test a PDD, you need to be, you know, working with JennyMay MISMO support. They're going to do everything they can to help get you ready. They will work with you. They will work with you on the PDD specs. So reach out to JennyMay MISMO support. But if you are ready to go, you're ready to pool, you know, you're in the application, you're in Sfpdm, and you actually need some technical assistance, reach out to JennyMay customer support. Okay, that's the jennymay1@bnymellon.com email address. They'll be able to efficiently help you navigate inside of the application once you are ready to deliver pools. All right. Anything? Yeah, so we're going to open up for questions. But before I take my first question, we've got several folks on the line that are participating in this effort as subject matter experts. I'm going to allow them to jump in and offer anything that I might have missed. Okay. Hearing none. Let's go ahead and open up for questions. Nicole Jackson, I see you're responding to a question from Gregory. Can you go ahead and read that one out loud?
Sure. The question is from Gregory McKitt. He asks, do we need permission to begin testing once our IT vendor gives us the approval for testing? The answer to that question is you do not need permission, you only need access. And if you are a issuer today, you should have access to the pool delivery dataset validation and testing tool. So no permission is needed for issuer testing.
I do see a line of questioning in the chat about the web browser. So my JennyMay portal, the modernized portal in general, tends to navigate better in Google Chrome or Firefox. So, you know, we offer up those as the more efficient browsers, but it does also work in Edge for anyone using Microsoft. Okay. All right, Nicole, it looks like you got another question here.
Right. This question is, when can we start transferring loans into Sfpdm? So Sfpdm will become available on April 25th. And then at that time, you can either start manually entering pools directly into Sfpdm and processing them. Or if you have a valid pool delivery data set, you can start importing those pool delivery data sets and start processing pools via the pool delivery data set imports.
I do see a question here about Encompass as a vendor and their readiness. I see that you were told that they would release in October at the earliest. I don't believe we have any different information. Is that correct, Nicole and Ralph? I think Ralph and Jaron might be on the line.
Yeah, that's in line with what we've been told.
Okay. All right.
One thing to add about that, there are a couple of different options that Encompass is offering to their issuers. So there could be something that could be released a little earlier than that October timeframe. So check with Ellie Mae and Encompass and see what options they're offering that may work for you for your earliest adoption.
Nicole Amaroli, do we have any questions on the line? Any hands raised? I don't see any.
We don't have any hands raised right now.
Okay, thank you. I am going to do a little backtrack here. I saw a question about how does someone in My Ginny Mae become inactive? So this ties back to our previous topic regarding the new functionality. It's 90 days. Any user in the My Ginny Mae portal that has not logged in to their account in 90 days will automatically be deactivated. This is a security feature. And so any organization administrators that have not logged in to the system in a 90-day period, their accounts are inactivated and their privileged organization administrator role is removed. So they would need to have their account reactivated and the role reassigned, which means you'll need to be connecting with Ginny Mae customer support. Okay. All right. I see a question in the Q&A. When were you informed about the alternative option for Encompass? Does that question resonate with my subject matter experts on the line?
We were just informed of that this month, that there could be potentially two options that Ellie Mae or the ICE organization may be making available to their issuers. So please contact them to see which and if both options are available to you.
Okay. Let us know if that answered your question. If not, go ahead and type back into the Q&A and we'll try to do a better job. All right. Okay. Jacob, you're not seeing the training session for Sfpdm on April 26th under training announcements. Please look under single family training announcements. Please look under the single family training announcements section. You should see the session there. And Valerie, I see you have a question about soft tokens where we're getting there. Hold tight. Okay. Any other questions about Sfpdm? I promise you, once you get inside of the application and start using it, you're going to be just as excited as we are. Okay, Ralph is telling me that he's not seeing the training. Can I get someone on the panelist side to go in and check that? Maybe John, are you able to do that for us?
Yep, I can look for that.
Thank you. And if you find it, can you go ahead and drop the link into the chat for everyone for both the Sfpdm training on the 26th as well as the VTT training on the 28th, please?
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Hang in there, Ralph. Okay. Any other questions about Sfpdm? When will the old site no longer be an option? That is a great question. Thank you for asking that. GinnyNet will remain available. Thank you, Nicole. GinnyNet will remain available until Q3 of 2023. Again, this is an 18-month adoption window that began with the APM that was released on January 31st of this year. So we will not remove your access to GennyNet before July 2023, okay? But what you need to know is that once you begin to transition your pooling activities into Sfpdm, it behooves you to stay in Sfpdm. There are a couple of noted exceptions. We have not yet put RG and ET, so reperforming loans and extended term loans, into Sfpdm. That is for a later release. So if you are pooling RG or ET pool types, you will need to continue to pool in GennyNet those two pool types. But in pretty much every other instance, you should be aiming for Sfpdm as your pool delivery module. All right. Hopefully that answers the question completely. If not, let me know. All right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next topic. You're still welcome to type in the Q&A. RFS expanded data collection. I've got Dan Botto and Patty Garcia on the line to lead us through what's happening in this space. Dan?
Yes, hi. Thank you. Thank you, Leticia. This is Dan Botto. I'm with operations. And we've been making announcements, doing announcements on the RFS data collection. Again, we're just going to flash you very quickly what this project is all about for those who don't know about it at this point in time. This is probably our third or fourth time that we've been announcing it through the modernization call-ins. And so, Patty, would you like to continue on?
Sure, Dan. Hi, everyone. This is Patty Garcia from Deloitte. So as Dan mentioned, we have already started communicating this project, but this is the benefit for everyone here who might not be as familiar with it, or if you haven't heard about it yet before. So in the RFS data collection, or expanded data collection project, we are adding additional loan level data elements to the existing RFS reporting process. So we are updating Appendix 619 to include those additional data elements. All 12 will be applicable to single family, and then about 8 of those will be applicable to multifamily. It will follow the same file structure. There includes both descriptions of those data elements as well as exception messages associated with how those should be reported and if there would be an error in reporting within the updated appendix. So there's information available there. Of course, for greater accuracy for pool and loan accounting, it just provides additional data points to Ginnie Mae, gives them greater visibility to allow them to monitor MBS loan collateral. And so there is both some new additional data elements, as well as some kind of corrections, or not corrections, but updates to the removal reason code. So there will be one new additional removal reason code, as well as some clarifying names for 2 of the other removal reason codes that already exist. We have I believe in this deck, Leticia, correct me if I'm wrong, we have that list of data elements, as well as the list of the removal reason codes that you can kind of review. And again, it will be included in the updated appendix.
Yeah, I just wanted to add for the benefit of everybody, the removal reason codes are also added into Chapter 19, which essentially was not there before. So we added that for convenience for everybody else. As regards to the schedule, we are waiting right now for the announcement, okay, of the APM. This is probably going to happen sometime next month, probably latter part of next month, for the official announcement of the APM for the release of the 12 data elements. Implementation, as you see here, is probably going to be sometime next year, but testing will be starting sometime late this year. That is all going to be spelled out in the APM. So I have had several calls, probably at least a handful of calls from various issuers and service providers, and I've given them some special training, if not at least an overview of the project and what to expect, so that they can include us in their scheduling for systems development. So that's the reason why we're doing this early, because we want to make sure that we are included in your systems development schedule. So, but this is not going to happen immediately. It will happen in 2023, and it will be in a stage form implementation when we do that. And we do take into consideration all the issues or comments that all our issuers bring up. Now, we will have, for the purpose of communications, we will have the Ask Jeannie May mailbox to be able to ask us questions going forward, or request us for any kind of training or review for what is going to be released. Down the road, when the APM is announced, we will have a POC number there, a point of contact number there for technical support and for non-technical support. So watch out for that APM when it comes out. Is there anything I missed, Patty, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Dan.
Okay, great. Oh yeah, the contact persons will be Jay Burns and myself, Daniel Bato. Thank you. Go ahead, Patty.
Sure. Thanks, Dan. So as I mentioned, we have the data elements listed here. Some of these are only applicable to single families. So for example, the doc custodian ID and ARM fields will only be applicable to single family. But these are the kind of new set of data elements and the definitions. As you can kind of see here, kind of 4 from the bottom is the removal reason code. So this is an expansion of some existing values. We are adding the new reason code 7 for special assistance. And again, this is more of at a summary level, but there will be greater information in the updated appendix, which will be an attachment with the APM as well. And these are the kind of the reason codes laid out. The updates were to reason codes 2 and 3, and then of course that new special assistance code 7. And so again, this is updates to the reason codes themselves as well as the definition.
Thank you, Dan and Patty. We're going to go ahead and open up for questions. I do have a question that's been submitted. If we are moving to the new Sfpdm, would these data elements still be applicable to us? And I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. Patty, do you want to take this one? Is there any correlation between the pool delivery module and the new data elements in RFS?
Now, let me clarify. This information is more of a loan record information, okay? If you're talking about pool information, that's the pool record, but definitely it will be flowing through RFS. So yes, Sfpdm will be affected in terms of the new data elements altogether.
Dan, I might need a little bit more information on that one and how Sfpdm is affected.
Yeah, actually, Sfpdm is part of the issuance data that's collected to create mortgage-backed securities. The data that Dan is referring to is more part of the monthly submissions that issuers make for reporting purposes in the reporting feedback system in RFS. So they're two separate deliveries.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, just want to make sure that there wasn't anything additional that we might have missed on that one. Does that sound right to you, both Dan and Patty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, that is correct. Nicole's right. So the additional data elements are loan level data elements through RFS. This is the monthly investor reporting, issuer reporting.
Okay. Any other questions about this? All right. All right, so as Dan and Patty both mentioned, stay tuned. There will be an APM coming that will provide you more detail and let you know the timeline by which you need to take action, okay? All right. RSA Soft Tokens, here we come, eventually. Next slide. Okay, guys, we do have a lot more detail to offer you about the transition to RSA Soft Tokens. So here's what you need to know. If you are currently a hard token holder, we will be transitioning you to a soft token. And we're looking at making that happen as early as Q3 of this year, okay? Keeping in mind, as we have always stated, the effort to provide soft tokens for our affected applications is tied to our cloud migration effort, okay? One does not go without the other. And so as soon as our cloud migration efforts is come to a close, we will make very clear, or is coming to a close, we will make very clear communications to you about dates, okay? But we're not there yet. We still have a few more months before we are going to flip the switch, if you will. So no dates to announce today. However, what you do need to know is that the team is preparing for the transition, okay? And that existing token holders will be hearing from us soon, okay? So there will be direct communications to existing token holders. Again, you can see here on the bottom of the slide who is impacted. My Ginnie Mae users who already rely on a hard token to access and applications and perform actions in My Ginnie Mae. Some of the applications that you might use a soft token or a token, an RSA token in are listed here off to the right. If you have an authorized signer functional role, then you are probably a token holder and you will probably be hearing from us, okay? So those hard tokens that you've leveraged for so many years will be deactivated on the day of cutover, and your new soft token will become active, okay? We're going to provide detailed instructions for the existing hard token holders on exactly what you need to do to download the app and to verify that you have access. That access is connected to your My Ginnie Mae account. We'll be doing that exercise most likely in July, okay? You will get that information directly to you, and we will work with you on making sure that your soft token accounts are set up well in advance of the cloud migration transition, okay? Next slide. All right, so again, here's our timeline. Right now it's April. We're just bringing some awareness to this situation, okay? So sometime after August 15th, you know, My Ginnie Mae applications, you know, will only be accessible with, you know, with an RSA soft token, not a hard token. So sometime after August 15th is when you can expect this cutover to happen, and we will clearly announce that date. I can promise you it will not be before August 15th. That is about the only thing that I can tell you for sure right now as it relates to a date, okay? What you can expect is that the RSA team will be sending you some direct communications if you are an existing token holder. And we will be very clear with you about what is expected of you and who you can contact for help, well in advance of the cutover, okay? We will be going through a validation exercise with you, which is currently scheduled for July. So at that point in time, we'll make sure that those tokens are set up and attached to your account so that they will be active at the point of cutover. About 15 days prior to cutover, we're going to send an urgent reminder reminding you that those My Ginnie Mae accounts need to be active and that those tokens soft tokens need to be set up so that you are good to go, whenever on the date that we cut over, okay? So for anybody that for whatever reason does not make the cutover, there will be messaging and instructions directly to those users. But the bottom line, what I need you to understand is that these are all targeted communications, okay? If you are not hearing from us by July, you may have missed something, okay? And you'll be able to reach out to us then. So we have another modernization outreach call that's happening in that quarter. We will make another broad announcement about what's happening and what we've done and who we've communicated to. So you don't need to worry about missing any communication or information between now and then, as long as you join us for that mod outreach call, okay? So these will all be targeted communications to anyone who is already an existing hard token holder. Okay, next slide. All right, so what do you need to do right now? Nothing. No action is required right now. Not from my token holders, not from anybody else. Just be aware and stay tuned. As it says here, the RSA Soft Token Adoption Team is working to create, new soft tokens for our existing users. And we expect to do that in July. We will roll those out to you with a targeted communication for you to test and make sure that those soft tokens are active, okay? But this is well in advance of when you would actually need to use that token. Your hard tokens will remain active until the cutover date, okay? So we are preparing training materials, or I should say user materials. So there will be quick reference cards and FAQs, a quick tutorial will all be provided to you to help you navigate how to download this application and activate that soft token, okay? But again, there is nothing for you to do right now, all right? If you have any questions about where we're at in this process, you can go to the Modernization Initiatives page on ginniemay.gov. If you have any specific questions or concerns, you can email askginniemay@hud.gov, okay? All righty. I think it's time for some questions. Okay, we've got a few. All right, will the soft token also be used for Bank of New York bank activity access? Lorraine, I think I need a little more clarification and understanding, maybe some context behind that question so that I don't answer it incorrectly. Can you type that into the chat or come off mute and explain your question to make sure that I give you an accurate response? All right, while we're waiting on Lorraine, what is a soft token? Well, so inside of Ginnie Mae applications, as listed in the diagram on the first RSA soft token slide, There are several applications that require a token, which produces a serial number that is used as an authentication method so that you can actually complete a transaction. You would have to be listed on the HUD 11702 Board of Resolution for your organization to be eligible to have a token. If you are not on the 11702, then the chances are this conversation does not apply to you. But historically, those tokens have been a physical fob that generates a token serial or a serial number. We are moving away from those physical hard tokens to an application that will reside on your smart device or desktop that will generate that serial number for our authorized signers to complete those business transactions. Okay. I use a hard token and a soft token. My hard token will be deactivated and I will need to use the soft token. Nothing will happen to my current soft token. Peggy, that's actually a very niche kind of conversation. We are aware of who already has a soft token, and we will have a very specific conversation with you about what, if anything, you need to do, okay? The chances are we will probably connect, you know, everything to the soft token that you already have, but I'm willing to bet that that soft token, it might actually, now that I think about this out loud, that soft token might actually need to disappear. You're probably going to get a new soft token, Peggy. So we will communicate with you directly and clearly about what's going to happen when we get closer to that transition. But I believe that the technical response right now is that you're going to get a new soft token, okay? Which means that there will be a new, there will be new connections made for that soft token to your MyGennyMay account. So the old soft token won't work anymore, all right? If you don't have a hard token currently, will you be able to assign a soft token to a new user? Yes, Brandon, you don't have to start with a hard token in order to get a soft token, but you do need to be listed on the HUD 11702. You have to be an authorized signer on the Board of Resolution for your organization in order to be eligible to receive a soft token. But yeah, you can receive a soft token in the future, even if you did not possess a hard token. But I do want to clarify that that would be a new token request that is not a part of this transition effort, okay? We are only transitioning people that have a hard token to a soft token. If you need a new token issued altogether, you need to execute an RSA token request. Okay. All right. Okay, let me go back to Lorraine. Okay, so you're asking, currently you use your token for GennyNet and to access the Bank of New York Mellon website, the same token for both, the Bank of New York Mellon website. Constantine, is this one registering with you? I'm not actually clear about what Lorraine's asking here.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm assuming Lorraine is talking about GennyNet and MyGennyMay when she says BNYM website, right?
Yeah.
So I think in the slide, as you mentioned earlier, the soft token would apply to all the modernized MyGennyMay apps. But
Lorraine, let me
I'm
know
not
if
so
we're not
sure about
mixing.
GennyNet. I didn't see that in your slide.
Ah, that might be it. Nicole, can you take us back to the list of systems? Okay, Lorraine, now I get you. So your concern here is that we didn't list GinnyNet as one of the applications. I'm thinking that's what you meant. Let me know if we're hitting the target. This is not a comprehensive list. Looks like we did miss GinnyNet. So if that is the nature of your question, then yes, what Constantine's saying is absolutely true. GinnyNet is still in play, you know, until at the earliest July of 2023. And so from the time that the soft tokens are released to when we end pooling transactions in GinnyNet, yes, you would use the same soft token, whether you are transmitting pools through GinnyNet or Sfpdm. Okay.
Letitia.
Yes, now I'm seeing in the chat. That's not the question. All right. So Lorraine's talking about Bank of New York Mellon wired bank activity. I'm sorry?
No, sorry, I was just gonna mention Constantine can't see the chat.
Okay.
To pose this question
Yeah,
to him.
so thank you, Brad, for reminding me of that. So Corinne is saying that Lorraine is talking about Bank of New York wires of bank activity. Guild has bank accounts that Bank of New York and you use the hard token to process those wires. Is there any, I don't think that there's a correlation. Constantine, can you correct me? Is there a correlation?
No, I'm not aware. I think we'll have to take this offline with Wade.
Yeah.
I mean, wire system processing is not my forte.
This is Stuart, Letitia. I think it's safe to say that the Bank of New York Mellon's banking applications with their customers, that's separate and distinct from the Ginnie Mae applications. So, you know, we can, you know, circle back, but whatever anyone does as a banking customer or securities or investing or broker dealer customer, or whatever, with the Bank of New York Mellon, that's different.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope we answered that question for you guys. All right, thank you, Lorraine. Okay. Will there be a process shared around what we do with the hard tokens once inactivated? Yes, we are. Actually, I don't have an answer to what that is just yet, but we will let you know what you need to do with those hard tokens once we make that transition. So stay tuned. Custodians will not be on the HUD 11702. Yes, that is correct, Maria. I always slip up and say that, and I always have a custodian that corrects me. Thank you. No, you do have a different process for establishing who at a document custodian organization receives a RSA token. So you will reach out to Ginnie Mae customer support. But you know, to be added to, if you don't already have one, let me get this straight. If you don't already have a token, document custodians do have a different process for receiving a token, but it's still the same application. You would reach out to Ginnie Mae customer support to initiate an application for a token, okay? However, if you already have a hard token, you are included in this effort, and yes, you will be transitioned to a soft token with all of the issuers. So Maria, I apologize for that 11702 slip of the tongue again, but if you already have a token, you will be transitioned just the same. And to whoever asked, yes, this session is recorded, and yes, we will post it on the Ginnie Mae website. Just give us a few days. All right. Do I have any other questions?
Letitia, two people have their hand raised. The first one is Ashley. Yeah. She just lowered her hand.
Okay.
The second one is John.
John, did you have a question for us? You can unmute yourself and ask your question now. No. Okay.
Lower his hand as well. Okay.
Yes, I see. Okay. All right, we are 3 minutes past due. I apologize for that, but really great conversation, you guys. Really good questions. Thank you for keeping me honest and forcing me to say what I mean and mean what I say. We will, if your RSA hard token has an expiration date, the Bank of New York Mellon already has a process in play for managing expiring tokens, and that process will stay in play until we transition. Okay, so nothing for you to do even still, Ralph. The Bank of New York Mellon already has a process for that. Okay, all right. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your participation, and we will do this again next quarter, I promise. And thank you to all of my subject matter experts on the line. I appreciate you as always. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.